Hello everybody, it is 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is time for Live at 5:30. I'm Tony Johnson, your customer experience leader. I have to start off with one of my favorite things. So today we decided that we were going to enjoy a little Friday night treat. So I went over to Jet's Pizza, called in the takeout. If you have not had Jet's Pizza, let me just tell you, it is life-changing pizza. It is Detroit-style pizza, edge-to-edge, kind of square pizza. It is amazing. So the folks here in the Orlando area, the Jets here, do a fantastic job. I went in and I put my order in. I drove over and I walked out and they brought me, and again, this hot, fresh, just life-changing pizza. And I walked up. They thanked me for my business. They wished me a great weekend. They told me to be safe. And they just took care of everything. So I thought, you know what a great way to show care to A, be on time with my pizza delivery, B, have amazing pizza, and C, really wish me a great day, thank me, give me a big smile and tell me to be safe. So, kudos to Jet's Pizza. I can't say enough great stuff about them. And if you out there in the audience love Jet's Pizza too, please, give us a little love on the old tip tap there, because it is, again, phenomenal stuff. So enough about pizza. I probably already made you hungry. And also a quick programming note. So this will be the last Live at 5:30 on Fridays, because I want everyone to get out and enjoy your weekend. I feel like I'm kind of like Ebenezer Scrooge on Christmas Eve. So, I don't want anybody to have to wait to go out and enjoy your weekend. Knock off a little bit earlier. So what I'm going to do, and today I actually dropped the first one I have in a while, the podcast. And we've talked about this before. So the podcast is back. Customer Service Academy. You can get it on iTunes. You can go subscribe. In fact, I would go right now. We'll finish watching me and then go subscribe, because you're going to want this podcast in your life. So what I'm going to do is drop the new podcast every Friday. That way you can listen to it at your leisure. If you're out on your walk or whatever it is you're doing. Great way. Maybe when we get back to the gym, you can actually dial that up. But go ahead and subscribe and start getting it. I try to keep them under a half an hour. So like today's, I think, was 18 minutes. And we're going to do interviews. We're going to do all kinds of really cool stuff on there. But for the first few, I want to get us caught up on the great service comeback, which brings us to today's topic. I want to recap some of the greatest hits over the last 10 days or so, because as I watch Georgia and some of these folks start to fire up, I think today salons, bowling alleys, and barbershops actually opened back up. Some of the parks and beaches in Central Florida have been opening back up. And so what I want to do is recap just a few things today. So the first was safety. So yesterday, we walked through safety in a huge way. So I just want to make sure, get the right chemicals in, make sure that you are taking the time to, get your teams, acclimated to using them, and don't just sanitize your customer areas. Make sure you're sanitizing and taking phenomenal care of your employee areas as well. Number two, I want you to think about what the future of your team's experience is going to be. And if you've listened to me for any length of time, I firmly believe that how you treat your team is absolutely how they will treat the guest, and that will be how guests perceive your service. So when you're thinking about what your brand is, think about your internal brand with your employees, with your team. Are you taking great care of them? And I think the best thing you can be doing right now is planning what welcome back is going to look like for them. When you bring them back into the fold as they come back from furlough or layoff, how are you going to get them back up to speed? How are you going to retool them? How are you going to make sure that any skills that might have, fallen out of their heads, while they were off, how are you going to reinvigorate them and retool them? And number three, adaptability. I was watching today actually a little bit about the future of air travel. And one of the things I saw was, I think it was from United, they were actually talking about how going forward, they are actually going to alternate seats. So if you were on an airliner where they have 3 seats in a row, the center seat's going to be open. And so, good news for me, because I hate the center seat, right? But the other thing is up in the first class cabin, if it's a 2-seater, then only one of those are going to be occupied. They're also looking at a pretty ingenious design where the center seat going forward will actually almost have sort of a wraparound plastic shielding and actually be turned in inverse of the other 2 seats around it on a 3-seat configuration. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen a change in airline configuration in many, many years, other than they continue to make them smaller, But I think that, that again is a great thing, because this pieces of innovation, these pieces of adaptability and imagination, we're going to need that, because again, we don't know what the future of service is going to look like, but we can absolutely believe and know it's going to be nothing like what it is now. I mean, it's going to sound familiar, it's going to feel the same, but there are going to be some things we haven't even considered that are going to be, things that hang around, post-COVID virus. So, you think about after 9/11, I don't think any of us thought that decades later we'd still be taking our shoes off at the airport, but that is indeed one of those things that came from the 9/11 experience. And again, national tragedy. And so when we think about what's going to come from this, we really don't know what's going to stick around, but certainly we are changed forever in a lot of significant ways. So just be adaptable. And then, again, like we talked about before, the bonus tip, if you haven't started planning your team welcome back, your team celebration, the reach outs to let folks know when they come back to work, don't wait too long. You want to make sure you reach out and get your team, get them engaged, get them involved, get them excited to come back. Because again, we're going to need them. Everyone's going to need your team as you start to ramp back up again. And I know that there's a huge hullabaloo out there between when and how and the best ways to open, but it is going to be a very measured, phased approach. Keep an eye out on the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, your state Chamber of Commerce, and of course the whitehouse.gov site has some pieces on how we're going to reopen America. So just keep an eye on all of those because there is some great information out there. So that's the recap for this week. Again, last time we're going to get together on Fridays, but remember, you're going to definitely be dropping the podcast every Friday from here on out. Also remember, if you're still looking for something to read, if you have not picked up a copy of Together We Serve, you can get it on Amazon, analog, you can get it on ebook, you can also get it on audiobook. I actually read the book, so if you can't get enough of my voice, feel free to download that. But until next time, until Monday, I want you to have a fantastic weekend. And remember that I am here to help. Drop me a note at tony@igniteyourservice.com. Visit the website, igniteyourservice.com/comeback. I will see you bright and early, well, actually bright in the afternoon, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday afternoon. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.